We live in a society that tells us who to be, what to do, and how to behave. And if you don't fit in that box, you don't belong. Well, I say we challenge that because I believe that we were created to be unique individuals with a unique purpose. We all have something different to bring to the table, and we can all learn from each other if we're just willing to take the time to listen. Welcome to the Unavoidable podcast, where true connection happens when we stop avoiding the hard stuff. I'm your host, Caitlin Childs. Pull up a seat and let's see what we can learn from today's guest. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Today we are here with my younger sister, Jessie Deer.
Hello.
If y'all only knew the amount of crap that we just went through trying to set this thing up.
It was a journey.
It was an hour-long journey because my husband's not here today.
The camera's on a stack of books in a cardboard box.
We're making it work. It's fine. So we're ready to talk because Jessie has traveled over an hour.
No, it's only 50 minutes.
Okay, well,
No.
close enough.
And you know what? I had a moment in the car to myself to just like sing all the way over here. So
There you go.
not a wasted trip. And I got to see you. So it's
Okay.
fine. It's okay.
Aw, she loves me.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what we've been talking about this season so far is strengths and weaknesses and how it relates to the community around us, because society basically tells us that we only can exist one way.
Yeah.
You know, you can only be successful if you do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
You can only be liked if you do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of what I'm trying to dissect on this podcast. And I
Yeah.
think that you probably better than anybody in our family has experienced this because you're 5 years younger than me.
Right. 96, baby.
So like we grew up with social media, but you more so than anyone.
Oh, yeah. I got Facebook when I was in 7th grade. And I had to like also lie about my age to get a Facebook.
Yeah. I think Facebook came out when I was in like, if you were in 7th grade, how old would I have been? 10th grade? No.
No, you would have been a senior. No.
No.
Wait, no.
I was too young for the cutoff too. I had to lie about
Oh,
my
maybe
age.
maybe it was earlier for me then.
Yeah.
I remember we were living in our house in Grand Oaks when I got
Yes.
my Facebook for the first time.
So I'm pretty sure I was in middle school when it came out. I don't know when we were allowed to get it, but.
Oh, did you ask? I didn't. I just.
Oh, okay. Youngest child.
I just went on my laptop. I was like, yeah, account.
Youngest child doesn't have to get permission.
I don't think I mean, maybe I asked. I don't think I did. I think it was one of those things where I'm like, I don't think I knew to ask permission. It was just like all my friends have it, so I'm going to get it too kind of thing. So maybe I should have, I don't know.
What's your life like?
Maybe I should have asked. I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't remember if I did that.
How do you think that shaped you though? Like growing up where truly like you had social media all the way growing up.
Yeah.
And we were like introduced to it later on. We still had somewhat of a childhood before.
Mm.
And so how do you think that shaped your ability to interact with the people around you? Like,
yeah, I think, well, starting out, I think social media was really fun. Like it was like all my friends.
Innocent.
It was it was pretty much innocent. I mean, there's always going to be creepers on social media, but I think at the beginning it was like, let me poke all my friends, let me send
stickers,
bumper stickers back and forth, like just kind of stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but it was a way for me to like connect with my friends and like when I'm not with them, basically.
Yeah.
I think now, and this is something that I've just been going through in the last, actually in the last month, really, is like social media has so many merits and so many positive things. Like I told my husband, Jonathan, that I love social media because one, it makes me laugh. Like TikTok is like, there's some of the funniest people on that platform. Oh my gosh. But also I learn a lot of things on social media from other people. And I think there's just like this kind of phenomenon that happened with social media is like used to before the internet, you had a small pool of people.
Yeah.
And like there were only the people around you to like glean ideas off of. It's just like that was like your pool. And so like everyone around you kind of listened to the same stuff. They watched the same television programs that you did.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was like smaller, but now the internet and like social media and stuff, the limit does not exist. Like there is so much. And so like I think for me, like at first it was just like about connecting with my friends. Now it's like, oh my gosh, like I can just learn anything I want to learn on social media. But at the same time, it's like I can learn anything I want to learn. Right. And that is also kind of scary. And so I think for me, TikTok has also been huge. Like I think I got on TikTok. I think I got it actually before the pandemic, honestly. I think I got it in like late 2019.
Yeah.
And even being on there in 2019 is totally different than it is now. Like it was like if you remember before YouTube, stupidvideos.com.
Yes.
That was basically TikTok in 2019. Yeah. Like the videos on there were just stupid. Stupid videos. But it was fun anyways. And so but now I think it's even different of like I think it's different because there's so much more people on there. Mm-hmm. And
it's evolving.
It is very much evolving. And I think it's one of those things of like, social media is great, but one thing that me and Jonathan says is if I turn my phone off, those people don't exist.
Yeah.
And so it's like one of those things of like, I very much need to remember to connect with the people around me. True. And so it's like, it started out as like connecting with the people around me, seeing what everybody else is doing, seeing what all my friends at school are doing, you know, that kind of thing. And now it's evolved to let me see what the rest of the world is doing, which can
connect with the people
and not connect with the people around me. And so it's like I'm almost doing like a regression a little bit of it, of like not like completely getting off of it. I mean, I think at the start of the year I have deleted Facebook. I've deleted Messenger, Twitter. I deleted Instagram for a little while, but I'm back on it now. And TikTok got banned for 12 hours, but then I got it right. So I think like I'm almost in this like area now where it's like I got social media initially to connect with people, but now I'm finding, I'm connecting people with connecting with people that I don't even know. And I need to kind of like be where I am and like be with the people around me, if that makes sense. Sorry, that was a really long answer.
No, I'm here for it. Okay. So when it comes to your strengths, because that's basically the topic of this season is strengths and weaknesses. For me, one thing that I know about you and your strengths is like the first thing I think of is your passion for things. Mm-hmm. Jessie is all or nothing kind of person. 0% or 125%. There is no in between.
That is correct.
And so I've always noticed that you have the ability to like, if you want to do something, you're gonna do it. There's no stopping you. And it's like freight train. But how do you think that has shaped like being on social media and seeing society tell you, well, you only need to be passionate about these things, you know, how has that kind of dulled it for you or even strengthened it?
Yeah. So I think, well, and this might go into like my weaknesses a little bit, but I also think like it's like you said, if I can't do something like 110%, I'm going to not do it at all. And so I think one of the things I think that can be a strength. I think that can be a weakness. Yeah. And that's one of the things I'm working on is like trying to like sometimes live in the middle a little bit. And so like for me, especially on TikTok, and I might talk about TikTok a lot just because that's, you know, the main platform that I live on these days, is I kind of like tried to like maybe be an influencer at one point. Maybe I was like, can I do this? And then I was like, this is a lot of work. I don't want to do this anymore. But anyways, so, and I didn't even blow up. I probably did it for like a month and then I was like, nah, never mind. But what I will say is one of the things that I kind of disliked about it is that you could only be passionate about one or two things.
Yeah.
You could only, like, you had to find your niche.
Yeah.
And, like, you could only be passionate about these one or two things. Well, I bebop around the things that I'm passionate about all the time. And so, like at one year I'll be like, oh, I want to like talk about fashion, talk about clothes. The next year I'm like, okay, let me talk about my little needle pointing stuff. You know,
Yeah.
who knows what I'm going to be into next year? Or
books,
talk about books, talk about Taylor Swift. Like,
yeah,
I am constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly like bebopping in and out of what I'm like super passionate about at this moment. And I think that was kind of something that I was like, ooh, I can't be 100% authentically myself because it won't perform.
Yeah.
Like people will be confused because they're like, what is her thing about?
Yeah.
And so, because you know, you go to like, you have some people you follow and you follow them. I'm following you just for fashion advice, just for this, just for that.
And I want to see your recipes.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to see, it's like we want to consume the content we want to consume. It's not necessarily that we care about like the human or the person. It's like, just give me the content, let me consume. And so that's something that I've been very, you know, conscious of. And so that's why it's like kind of been like hard as someone who's very passionate about a lot of things. And also just like really, if it can't be like exactly how I want it, then I'm not going to do it at all. And so, yeah, I think that like I kind of now I'm just like, let me just be a consumer because of that a little bit. Let me just kind of sit back and just like be a lurker a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't feel like I can be 100% me.
Right.
Because it doesn't perform or whatever.
I resonate with that because like I started off doing content, teaching people about God, teaching people about my relationship with God. And it's like God kind of spoke to me one day and was like, hey, bring more of you to the table. Like, don't just hide behind me. Bring yourself as you are.
Yeah.
But like you said, like those videos go nowhere. People don't care.
Yeah.
And
like, this isn't why I followed you.
Right.
You know, like,
but at the same time, it's like, I kind of want to lean into that because I kind of want to buck against the system.
Yeah.
And that may be a little bit of the rebel in me just wanting to be like, screw the algorithm.
Right. Well, and I think too, sometimes because we're behind screens all the time, like we kind of forget that those are actual people who have actual lives and actual interests beyond what they just post. And so, and also like some of the people that I follow who I really like, when they give me another morsel, I'm like, ooh, yeah. Like, oh yeah, I want to know, like,
oh, we're best friends.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't even know. You have no idea who I am, but we are besties. Like in my mind, we're besties. So I think that I don't know, it's kind of like, it kind of will work for some people and it won't work for, like, some people will resonate with it because they just like your vibe, they like who you are.
Yeah.
I think some people won't. And I'm also like, think that's okay.
Right.
Because I think like when it comes to like creating a genuine community online, and I'm saying this as a person who doesn't really have a community online, really, who's just a lurker, but I think just from an outside perspective of like, if you do that, you might have a smaller following, but you might have,
but you have family,
but you have like people who are like genuinely like interested in what you have to say, and like more like a friend kind of dynamic a little bit.
Yeah, they're your ride or dies.
Yeah.
Because that is a struggle finding those people, because it's like, a following's cool.
Right.
But if you don't make those real connections, what's the point? You have observers. Yeah. Lurkers, like you said. You just have people lurking at your life, and that's kind of weird.
That was another thing of like once I think I mean, seriously, I think I have like 300 followers on TikTok. It's not like nothing. But even that, like seeing people who I know in real life watching my videos, I was like, oh, you mean this isn't totally completely in the void? Oh, I don't like this.
Well, and that's why I don't share my stuff anywhere else, because I'm like, I don't actually want people in my real life.
Yeah, I'm like, if you know me and you see this, you didn't.
No,
you didn't. Back up off.
We're not going to talk about
just quit the app, please.
I totally resonate with that. And I think that it is it is so difficult these days to bring your real authentic self to the table at all times.
Oh yeah,
And that's
totally.
what I'm working towards, is that like I want to be myself at all times. But like even who I am with you, you know my authentic self. You know what a goofball I am. You know what like jokes that I tell with you that don't land with literally anyone else.
Yeah.
If I were to bring that all the time, I feel like people would be like, she's a freak. And we're not sure about her. But at the same time, then you find your people.
Yeah.
So I kind of think it's worth it to sacrifice the following for the real connection.
Yeah. Well, you just kind of have to, like, something I do. This is kind of dumb. Something I do when I like meet new people is I'll just like throw out a joke. Just like, I just throw out a joke.
Test the water.
Literally, this is they don't know it, but I'm like, this is my gauge. And if they laugh, I'm like, okay. And if they're just like deadpan, I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, we might not laugh. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like one of those things of like, you kind of have to decide when you want to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things for me, is like, I don't know that I'm ready to be vulnerable with like people who I don't know on the internet. Like that was kind of like, for me, it's like, I would rather be vulnerable with people who I know will be vulnerable back with me.
Yeah.
Like in my real life. And so that's kind of like where I've landed with it for now.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of freedom that comes with being able to be vulnerable no matter what.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I don't care if you don't like my joke. I don't care if you don't get what I'm saying. I don't care if you completely misconstrue it and take it the other way, because I'm not doing it for you.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for me.
Yeah.
Like, there is a strength in that, and that is goals for me right now.
Hashtag goals.
But it is so hard, because how many times have you seen me be myself in front of other people?
Very rarely.
Like,
totally. Like very,
count
very
them on
rarely.
one hand.
I probably can, actually.
Yeah, because people just don't get it. So I do appreciate your passion, your strength of passion, and being able to, like, when you connect with people, you really connect with them and you really go hardcore with them. And
I will be loyal to the day.
yeah, don't give them up easily.
No.
Because like you're passionate about those relationships. And I think that serves you well in community too. So how are you learning to build that community outside of social media in your real life?
Yeah, so I think that one of the things that I've just kind of been trying to do this year is like to build extraordinary, authentic community, and build it with like where I'm at, like with where I live. And so one of the things, me and my friend Ember, we love to needlepoint, which is like the most grandma hobby, but we found it last year.
Here for the grandma hobby.
It is so nice. It's like just one of those things that you can like sit in front of, when you're just sitting down watching TV and you need something to do with that's for me. It's like, I need something to do with my hands.
I got to keep my hands busy.
And I also like struggle with anxiety. And so it just helps me a lot to have like, it's like very satisfying. Yeah. Kind of like once you finish, you're like, oh, that was so satisfying. Anyways, so we started like, and I'm going to say that we started this on Facebook, but we started a needlepoint group on Facebook just for Mississippi needlepointers, because it's bigger in like other states. Like there's only one needlepoint shop here, and it's in like Water Valley. Anyways, and so, but there are people here who do it, and we kind of saw a gap in that, and so we just created Facebook, and we went to all the other Facebook groups, and we were like, hey, we have a specific needlepoint, one. Yeah. And so, anyways, so we were like, this might not go anywhere. People might not join it. People might not be interested. And we've actually had a lot of interest, which has been super fun. And so one of the things that we are planning to do is meet up with those people, maybe start a stitch club where we do it like twice a month and stuff. Yeah. And just kind of like connect with people in that way. One thing for me that's important in connections and community is just like shared interests. Like that's huge to me. Yeah. is just like having a baseline interest. Like I have to have that with somebody before I can like go deep with them. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, we have to know that we like at some point have like something in common. You can go like super deep.
And that is where you and I are opposites.
Totally.
Like, tell me all your secrets. And
Caitlin has cut the small talk.
literally there's nothing worse in like that is the definition of torture.
Yeah.
Is small talk. I hate it so much. I'm getting better at it.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I think too, and one thing that I've, just been learning recently is that like I think there's a difference between small talk and a difference between like having conversations about, share like there's a difference in like like getting to know you. There's a difference in like, so what'd you watch on TV last night?
Yeah.
And like, oh my gosh, you and I watched the same show. We're going back, we're talking about theory. Like that kind of thing is like there's like a difference there. Cause I don't like prefer to just like I don't prefer that kind of
chit-chatting about the weather.
Yeah, like ugh. And I don't think many people like that. Like I think a lot of people want community and they want that deeper connection, but they just don't know how to have it. So anyways,
right.
All that to say, so we kind of started that Facebook group together. And so it's been kind of, we haven't done like our first meeting yet, but I'm like, I'm gnawing on the bars of my enclosure. So like so ready to do it, like ready to, to meet some new people and, just like find people that like have the same interests as me. Mm-hmm. And it's like people, what I think is cool too is it's like people of all ages, like
all walks of life.
Like I like there's some older ladies in there that I'm most excited to meet.
I get along with older people like better than anyone.
Yeah.
I made a friend the other day who was like 70 and I was like, we're best friends.
Love it.
So I definitely get that. But I think that that's key for community too, is you want to surround yourself with a group of people who you have those that you can take advice from, right? And then you have those younger than you who can help you keep your finger on the pulse of like, getting old and crusty.
Oh, I know. TikTok keeps me young.
Right.
It keeps me so young.
Period.
Poo.
But like it is good to surround yourself with people who aren't exactly like you. And that's another thing that I think society pushes is they're trying to just conform us into one thing. And then we're all the same and we don't learn from each other that way. So having that community, I think that's super smart.
Yeah.
To have, especially like with needlepoint, because that's something that anyone can enjoy.
Oh yeah.
Addison, our niece, can do it.
Yeah.
And she's like,
well, and I love the idea of like connecting over something that's kind of dying out a little bit.
Yeah.
And like almost bringing it back is like kind of like an act of defiance of like, no, we're not going to let it die. Like we're going to like keep this around because I think you'll see in the needlepoint community, not to get too deep into this, but you'll see in the needlepoint community, it's like people my age or younger than me. And then like super old ladies. And I'm like, and I think that's kind of cool. Like that's
cool.
But there's that kind of like
crossing that generational bridge.
Yeah.
Bridge and gap.
And like they know so much about it and they're so good at it. And I love like following them. And I love when I see an older woman who is on social media just absolutely killing it. Like
Torchy.
Talking about.
Do you follow Torchy Swinson?
No.
You need to.
Okay.
She's one of them.
I just love when I'm like, you know what? I love it. Get it, girl. Like, so anyways, yeah.
Well, I think that that's probably a good stopping point for today. We covered a lot of ground there. So y'all come back next week and we're going to talk with Jessie about weaknesses. Ooh. This is going to require you to be vulnerable.
My favorite thing.
Join us next week. We'll see you then.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode and you want to connect further, you can head over to yourfriendcaitlin.com. That's yourfriend, CAITLIN.com. There you can find all of my social media links, get updated on what's new, and even check out some of my books that can help you learn even further. Check back with us next time. See you then.